Hi, welcome my friend, welcome back. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at if you're having trouble getting started on your rhythm playing, then what we want to do is break it down to the very first possibilities. What you want to get control of is two things. You want to get control of meter, which is the distance between two sounds, how much time it takes in between two sounds, how you can measure time. The other thing we're looking at is understanding how you can break down that time into subdivided pulse. First, just pulse, which is the time between the pulse, the instance of one sound to another. Then we want to break down patterns that happen in between those pulses and how you can control that. Now the first thing, the easiest way to do this, to do it on a guitar, is, and this is half the exercise here, is limb independence. You want to be able to be independent with your left and right hand. I still have things that I still have to react. My right hand has to react to my left hand, or vice versa, or I really have to think too hard about them. But you really want independence. So this hand, the left hand, your right, if you're left-handed, you know how you're playing. Your fretting side hand has to learn how to relax. And there'll be times in the future where we break this down into the independence of tension in your hand and relaxation that way. But right now we're just talking about limbs. We're talking about our larger extremities. So you want this left hand to be able to relax enough. You can leave your thumb on there or not. Some people have to actually dangle their hand like this with the weight of their arm at first to be able to get it to relax enough. I don't know why that works, but it does. But you really want to be able to get to the point where you're relaxed enough, where your hand is muting the strings, damping the strings, and you're not hearing anything sneak out. If you're hearing harmonics, you just move away from them. You know, the harmonics land because of the harmonic series and places on the strings where it's easy to get this bell-like tone. And we really fight hard to get that bell-like tone sometimes, and sometimes we don't want it. So if you hear it, just slightly move your hand. Doesn't matter where your hand is. You'll hear some kind of pitch change. Sounds like ha 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 ha, doesn't it? So, but what you want is, if you're getting like a little kid with a crayon who starts moving their jaw and their lip and their tongue sticks out or something, like that's because that's like the equivalent of you squeezing as you're thinking about this hand and trying to relax this hand. We're going to talk with a pick right now, because I'll give you another thing later, but probably in a different video, of what you can do with that set of movements. But what you want is this independence first. That guy's relaxed. It's just sitting wherever it's sitting, where you can get a scratch sound and nothing else. This guy is going to swing, and I've got a laptop camera pointed at me, so that I've never heard anyone say this, but sometimes it helps some people to get the distance that you're swinging to be equal by you treat yourself like a drum. So I'm hitting my leg on purpose, and it'll show in the other angle. I'm talking to you right now, though, and I can't see all of it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, as you've heard me talk about, the head, hands, hearing thing, which is actually somewhat separate from the synesthetic thing. The synaesthesia of having different parts of your brain react, to different things, all for the same goal that you're trying to get. So in this case, we're going to do this idea that we're going to hit our leg, and if we can, you can't see my foot, but you can probably hear that. You're going to try and tap your foot. And that's important, because you do want to know where the down pulse is, so that when you start to do other things, you'll know where you are in the frame of time work that you're working. I'm making this sound complicated, but all I'm saying to you is, you want to damp these strings, and you want to be able to hit them, and you want to be able to swing your arm. You got the movement of your shoulder, which is kind of not considered a lot, but it's there, and it makes a difference whether you're swinging your arm and not hitting the strings, or you've closed in your arm closer to your body through your shoulder joint to hit the strings. So this big old joint with a tiny minute movement is sometimes what's making the difference. It could be that you're arching your wrist and flattening it. This is the arch. This will be the tilt or rotation. It really comes from your elbow. But those are the three main movements that are considered wrist movements that you should know about. The arch and the tilt or rotation. And if you looked at my arm when it was flat on something, you know, if I've got my arm dead flat against this neck, if I arch it, I'm going away from the neck, right? Flat. And I'm moving it like that. That's called the deviation. It doesn't seem like much, but if I took a whiteboard marker and I marked down to my middle finger and then did that movement, trying to keep it flat without, you know, while I'm looking at it, and you'll see that it actually curves quite a bit. So you know, those things, don't worry too much about them. What you're just trying to do now is within all that movement, after a while you'll get to control it a lot, but you just want to swing the weight of your arm, and if you're touching your leg when you hit down, that's okay. And you want to tap your foot and then just start to strike the strings at the same sort of tempo that you're using your arm. The foot hits the ground, the pick hits the strings. The foot comes up and the hand comes up. The foot goes down, the hand comes down, up. Foot down, hand down. Foot up, hand up. Yeah? That's all you're trying to do. Now, as you do this, you've got several things happening now. You're touching your leg, you're swinging your arm, and now you're also tapping your foot. So you've got all these different messagings that are going into the same purpose to make this down and up movement. I'm not hitting the strings now, but with a minute adjustment of my wrist, my elbow, or my shoulder, I'm going to start hitting down. Now, you'd want to empty the room, or don't do this at a dinner party or something. But really, you try to vocalize most things. You'll find that it does help you. And what you want to do is make up your own words. I just use tea and coffee. So you're going to go tea, 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 tea. Later on, you'll write this down as a crotchet or a quarter note. Sometimes visualizing things help. And you just want to keep a steady tempo. I've got the trusty frenemy here, the old metronome. And I don't know, what was that probably? Maybe 100? A little slower than that. Say we'll call it 90. Get you sort of. It's difficult, isn't it? I think the slower it is, the harder to stay with the click. But that's all you're trying to do first. Muting strings, tapping your foot, and touching your leg. And coming back up and doing the same thing. Now you got three choices. You've got this downstroke and the missing up, because that's what that is. A down, miss, down, miss, down, miss, down, miss. So sometimes do it without the metronome, without tapping your foot, without saying anything, but you're thinking in your head, down, miss, down, miss, down, miss, down, miss. You're missing the way up. Don't ignore the up. Just because we hit a drum and we come back up, we're not thinking down, up, down, up. On a guitar, we're thinking down, down, you know, down, 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 down. But there's also the up. So you want to think down, miss, down, miss, down, miss. You want to sort of get that into that idea into your head. That's figure number one. Now figure number two, which is just as easy, is both. So now you're thinking down, up, 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 down, up. Easy, right? Now the next one's the one where people's postures change and their body seems to shift and their arm wants to do something else. That's why it's good to touch your leg. You're sort of smacking yourself in the thigh when you do this. And what you're going to do is you're going to go from this T, 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 coffee, 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 up, up, hit, up, just up, just up, just up, then both, which is down, up, both hits, then down, then both, just up, miss up, down, up, and then just change gears after a while. It takes a while sometimes to get this up. You're tapping your foot. When you get back to tapping your foot, you want to hear that click. You don't want to be doing this. That's a downbeat with an upstroke. Right? You want the downbeat, miss up, stomp up, just up, You try and have a placeholder like just up, or foot up, foot up, foot up. You want a placeholder, something to keep that down feeling as an empty strum, as an empty place held up, up. And what you want to be able to do in the end is you want to be able to change gears between these three figures. Down, both, and just up. When you get to the point where you can just change gears pretty freely, and both, just up, back to down, both, down, up, down, without shifting between having both as the connector, down, up, down, up, down, up, both, just up, both, down miss, down miss. Any random pattern. You can make up patterns if you want to think down, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down, up, up. If you can find little patterns, great. But that's what you want control of, shifting gears in and out of any of those to the point where you're going quite quick, you know, even if you're not tapping your foot because it gets too hard to tap. Just and that's kind of what you're aiming for. The future goal we'll talk about later is when you subdivide, instead of click, click up, you'll subdivide into a longer pattern with more divisions in between, like dividing into fours or 16th notes, or dividing the pulse into subdivided into fours, which is, if in 4/4 time, it would be 16 attacks. You know, 1 hand, a 2 hand, a 3 hand, a 4 hand. You end up trying to maybe use a little more wrist than elbow for this, you know. Also, the elbow tends to give you what you just heard there, just like chaka, 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 chaka. Your wrist will give you something that's more like 1 hand, 2 hand, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. You know, loud, soft, 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 loud, soft, soft, soft. And later you want control of each of those accents, you know, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. Or you want to go Coca-Cola, 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 or Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola. You know, this is later, it's foreshadowing for, you know, the future. But really all you want to think now is my strum even? Am I keeping it moving? Don't stop ever. That's why you want to feel your leg. You're tapping on your leg. Up, hit up, both, down, up, down, up. And you want control of that. And that's the whole object of it, is that you're just comfortable with this idea that this hand is relaxed and this hand is doing all the heavy lifting and the work. And then later, when you get into it again with all these other accents, you'll start to squeeze. Just one finger. See where we're going? But you got to start with that. Foot and hand and a scratch. If you don't have to touch your leg, don't. If you need to tap on your leg to get that, do. But that's the first step. And then we'll start to put all these other attachments onto it. Just one finger, say.